What's going on, YouTube? It's your man James. Today we're gonna do the long-term full review of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. With us being multiple updates into the phone, there it is right there. You got to go into advanced. You can definitely adjust the vividness now, which is pretty nice. You got the anti-reflective coat like we've talked about. Now I've got the phones on auto. When we look at them, now I think the gap is even more noticeable. And there you go. Again, we just a little bit less washed out, and I'll illustrate it again. As we raise that ISO up, we notice the S24 Ultra on the left. And shout out to my guy. I'm gonna pull up your username in a little bit. Shout out to my guy mentioned about the ring light. Let me get them fingerprints. Hold up. I got a lot of lighting going on in here. I got like primary lighting. I got secondary lighting. I'm trying to get lighting over here. I got lighting over there. I got lighting over there. Like I got lighting everywhere. But the thing is, like, me being a darker complected individual, what I try to do is I don't want to crank the ISO too high. I want y'all to be able to make out what's on the screen. I can start shooting at a little bit higher ISO. I just don't want to be washed out. So that's kind of why I lean towards keeping it lower, just for the sake of, we want to look at the beautiful display on the phone. The peak brightness is actually something I can get into real quick. Now, I haven't edited the video yet, but this did come in, so I'm gonna be throwing that. I got a video on that charger. Be on the lookout for that. Now, the peak brightness. You're not gonna have no problem seeing the phone in bright light at all. I mean, I've had no issues outside during the brightest of light, during the eclipse. I've had no issues with it. I feel like it does a really good job. The last few Galaxy phones have also done that, but I just feel like it does a great job with the adaptive brightness overall. Adapting to the conditions of the room, making sure that you can see the display. We can definitely notice that it does look a little bit better on the S24 Ultra here. And that is going to be because of that anti-reflective coating, y'all. So, and I think I'm actually going to drop the ISO. Yeah, drop it a little bit just to make that blue pop. As far as the display, you got one of the top of the line flagship displays that you're going to find on a phone, A1. Let's move on to the battery. Now, I've got other clips that show some of the insane battery life that I've gotten on this phone. I actually went down to Atlanta. and I got screenshots of it. I got video of it. I'll drop it in the video. I got like 9 hours of screen on time at one point with GPS, 5G, location, Bluetooth, all of that running. But I mean, we'll look at some of the insane battery life that I've got. And we'll notice, I mean, I'm not just doing nothing. I'm not just sitting around on Wi-Fi. I'm leaving the house. I got data, location on. The screen on discharge is off the chain in the best of ways with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. They've done an amazing job. The screen off discharging speed. We've come a long way from the Note 20 Ultra days, y'all. I'll keep it real. Shout out to the Note 20 Ultra. I got it over here. It's just in the case right now. Shout out to this phone, but man, we have come a long way from those days now. Comfortably getting 6 hours of screen on time, like with no issues, but I've gotten a lot more than that as well. Now my SIM card, I don't think my SIM card in here right now. I got it in another phone. So I took my SIM card out 2 days ago. So we'll probably focus on from here to before. But here's a good example, right? About 24 hours off the charger. But if you don't have a SIM card in it, I mean, it's going to be probably a 3-day phone without a SIM card. And higher screen on discharge, but I mean, we'll see. I was doing various things. I mean, I wasn't just doing nothing. Snapchat, battery hog, but YouTube, camera, maps. I mean, I was going places. I had my location on, 5G, but the discharging speed, again, with the camera. If you're shooting video, if you're taking photos, even if you're editing stuff through the gallery, you're gonna have a higher screen on discharging speed than you would, just surfing YouTube or, scrolling through the internet. You're gonna have a lot higher discharge speed when you're doing that. But it is what it is when you're shooting video. I've shot a couple videos with it, not as much as I would like to, but now that I'm getting this full review out the way, I'll be doing more. It kind of just is what it is when you're shooting video, in 4K on any phone. But this phone, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, it does a fantastic job. The discharge speed of the apps will kind of tell you what you can expect when you're using that app. Now, I'm trying to see if I can't find a time where I was just heavy using the phone with maps. Okay, there we go right there. So at that discharging speed, and we'll call that 13. I mean, if you're coming in at 100%, you can almost certainly get 8 hours close to a screen on time with location and 5G and all of that on, depending on how you're doing it. If you're rocking power saving or performance profile, you might could squeeze a little more out. Could limit apps and home screen, cut power saving on right there. It's going to drop you from 120 down to 60 hertz. And then you can limit apps and home screen. And what that's going to do, that's going to drop everything off to where only apps that you pre-select are going to be available. If you need to squeeze more juice out, it's there. Now that I haven't done, but it's there if I need to. You got performance profile. Drop it down to light. This phone checks pretty much every box that you need a flagship phone to check. When we go down the list, as I said in the S23 review video, when we go down the list of what defines a flagship phone, I've been impressed with the versatility of the camera system, modes and routines. I've not really made space to talk about this in videos before, and I want to make sure I talk about it. So I've got all types of modes and routines set. My favorite one is if it's this time of night, then my phone automatically goes to vibrate. The productivity that you're going to get with a Galaxy phone in your pocket is unmatched. I've talked about that in other videos. I mean, this is the top dog right here. You're getting the top of the line camera system that you can get on an Android phone. kind of reminds me of looking at the S21 Ultra and the S22 Ultra, where, and for those, the hardware is pretty much the same. See that? No grain. And that's pretty much the difference with the hardware. For the sake of the video, let's see if I can't get 100 times zoom. Man. Okay. Y'all don't understand, man. That ain't easy to pull off that quickly. And then that's the actual droplet. Okay. And then I'll see if I can't do that on here. And you'll be a toss up, but to me, when you're not gonna be using this type of shot, you know what I mean? So, I mean, this one looks a little bit better on the on the S23 Ultra, but 84 degrees. So, I mean, there it is right there. Your experience may vary, you know what I mean? Mileage may vary, but my experience is depending on what you're doing on the phone, it will get a little warm. And just for the record, do not have a SIM card in here. Okay? My SIM card is in another phone. So I don't have a SIM card in there right now. I took it out and it's in another phone right now just for today. But my experience is that the phone gets a little warm, but the biometrics, like I was talking about, they're great. Now, I've got, in case you haven't seen those videos, I use the case with a built-in screen protector. It does work with no issues, and I've got both fingers registered. So it works with no issues. There's some downsides to having a case with the, there's some downsides to having a case with the built-in screen protector, lint and dust. I'm not finna be walking around with a $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 phone in my pocket and take the chance that that it drops out of my pocket and now I got a crack on a phone. I'm not finna go out like that. This is, you know, as we've been discussing, this is a top of the line flagship phone, and I'm gonna treat it as, you know, such. I'm gonna treat it as such when I'm out and about in public. So I keep mine in the case. I keep it in the case when I'm at home because I might drop that shit too. You know what I'm saying? But the biometrics on the phone, I've had no issues with it. Here's the face unlock. I'm literally back here, y'all, behind the tripod, right? My hair covered. I ain't had no problem. So, face unlock, fingerprint. And again, I'm in a brightly lit room, so shouldn't expect no problem. Face unlock, fingerprint. You know what to expect when you're dealing with a Galaxy phone when it comes to the biometrics. You know, some people have a better experience, some have worse. 22 Ultra and up, biometrics on them have been pretty great. Noticeable leap between S22 and S23 with the face unlock, and a noticeable leap from the S23 to the S24 Ultra with the face unlock. Could be better at night, could be better in the dark, but I've already showed that in multiple other videos. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we know what to expect. I could go on and on and on, but at the end of the day, man, y'all seen that face unlock? And again, with no problem at all. I personally like to do my face unlock in a slightly dimmer than normal environment. That way, if I'm ever in a brighter environment or a darker environment, I still got a little bit of leeway. Again, your mileage may vary. I'm just telling you my experience. It's been A1. We already talked about the display. I do want to take some time to go over extra dim again. If you didn't catch it in any of my other videos, I know I went over it in the S23 FE video. Extra dim, right? So the screen is on. And what it does is lower your maximum brightness. And if you are in a dark room, say you scroll, you know, you got somebody in the bed next to you, I might have to raise the brightness a little bit. for y'all to see. That's as high as I could get the brightness, but it's on. It's on. And I'm gonna drop that right on back down. Extra dim is clutch for me. We went over power saver, performance profile, battery protection. Looks like I got that off right now. I might actually cut that on. As we saw with my Accu battery, I sometimes I'm charging to 100, sometimes I charge to 80. Once I start shooting a lot more video with it, I expect that to go down. 3 days, we'll notice I'm at 3 days and 7 hours of off the charger with the S23 Ultra. But again, I don't have a SIM card in here, and that's just from 85%. No power saver, no performance profile. That can be stretched out even more. And matter of fact, real quick, let's go ahead and talk about it. If you got an S23 Ultra, do you need to upgrade? As I've said in multiple videos, truthfully, no. The S24 Ultra been out for 3 months. If you really wanted it, you probably would have got it already if you just had to have it. If you already got an S23 Ultra, you might as well just hold on to it and either keep it as a spare phone when you get the S25 Ultra or trade that thing in. At the end of the day, the S23 Ultra, in my opinion, is the second best Android phone out. And the reason I say that is because if this, in my opinion, is the best Android phone out, well, this is basically the carbon copy of that. Now, as I showed in the, we ain't really talked about the S Pen. We ain't really talked about the build or design because I've got numerous videos on that, but they're here. I mean, we've talked about it, we've looked at it, but here it is again. Yeah, I mean, titanium build, titanium frame, and you've got pretty much the same chassis as we had last year. There we go. So speaker grill is a slot now, right there towards the bottom of your screen. And that's pretty much it. Got that 5X lens, you got that Gorilla Armor or Gorilla Glass Armor, and pretty much the same phone. Of course you got your AI, right? Can't forget about that. But even the AI features are going to be coming down to the S22, S21 series phones. So not all of them, but the ones that we care about, right? So overall, with this being the best Android phone out, point blank, this is the second best Android phone out. We can talk about the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, right? We can talk about the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, even the X6 Pro. We can talk about the OnePlus 12. But the thing is, this phone can pretty much do everything that them phones do, plus a little more. And when I say a little more, all you got to do is pull out that S Pen, and them other phones can't do that. They got to sit down. And at the end of the day, that added productivity of the Galaxy phone, of a Galaxy Note style phone. Shout out to the OG. Where's it at? Shout out to the OG Galaxy Note 20 Ultra right here. Still going tough. You see it had to warm up. You know what I'm saying? See, that face unlock ain't as crispy, right? We've came a long way from these days. And when I do my Note 20 Ultra review, I'm going to talk about how while this is a fantastic phone, it's hard to daily drive something like this now when you got stuff like this out. Now, as a backup phone, as a secondary phone, whatever, yeah, perfect. I'll take this and the S23 FE on vacation and won't think twice. I'll leave these back home. We're reaching the point where stuff like this, I hate to admit it, it's becoming obsolete. As much as I love this phone and what it represents, this phone has been reincarnated, and now we got these. The S24 Ultra is the best Android phone out. You're stunting on every other phone from a standpoint of productivity, entertainment, display. We ain't even talked about the speakers, but What more can I say? I mean, the speaker is off the chain, the battery is off the chain, the processor is off the chain, the camera's off the chain, the display's off the chain. You got the S Pen, you got wireless power share, reverse wireless charge. Until these other companies close the gap, this is going to remain the king. This is the king right now. I'm glad I upgraded. I still got my S23 Ultra, so I wouldn't call it an upgrade, but I'm glad I got it. I'm going to keep it in rotation for a long time. Other companies going to have to catch up to get that spot. Got some new subscribers. Hold on, man. Shout out to my man, Deshaun Grant. Appreciate your comment, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Jerry Cabrera. We had a couple other shout out to my man, Ayan Ali. You know what I'm saying? For the ring light suggestion. You know, I appreciate you, bro. Mario, shout out to you, bro. You see I'm doubled up. You see I'm doubled up over here, bro. Shout out to you, Mario. Shout out to the Vigilant PC. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I actually went ahead and got another one. I actually got one in black, S22 Ultra. I ended up adding it back into the rotation. You can get them for a lot better price now. I'm glad I added it back to the rotation. Shout out to the Vigilant PC though. You put that bug in my ear and it was over after that. Shout out to Marlon Johnson for your insightful comment. Shout out to G for your insightful comment. I appreciate all the new subscribers coming to the channel. It's kind of been stagnating as I've been moving and getting you know, recalibrated in a new location, right? I got to place all my equipment in different places and taking longer to set up the film. I ain't been filming content. I got a whole bunch of stuff to edit that ain't been out. I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. I wanted to shout out everybody who watched this S22 Ultra video. We almost had 2,000 views on that video. This is a very small channel, and I appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. I ain't never gonna ask nobody to subscribe. I ain't never gonna beg for likes and da. I don't really trip off of that. I'm just out here, you know what I'm saying, trying to make content that I enjoy making and put it out there for the people who want to watch it. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today, man. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Later. Spitting fire, boy, still blazing. Getting higher in the haze, it's amazing. I'm rolling like a tire upon the pavement, boy.